Canadian Taylor-Joy, Paul Sparks, Francie Smith, she's here, someone, Kylie Vernoff, and then our producers, we have Alex Sachs, Andrew Duncan, Kevin Walsh, Jim Ratz, Matt Faxton, Ryan Stoll, Ted Diker, who's around, and I think I see Danny Johnson. We have our director of photography, Lyle Vincent. And we have our production designer, Jeremy Woodward, here as well, I believe. And our costume designer, Alex Gobert. Bring everyone there, they're great. And our editor, Louise Ford, did she see it? Yes. Thank you all so much for coming.
So before I open up to the audience for questions, let's just start with the origin. Where did the script for Thoroughbred come from?
Sure, so the script began as a play. That's my background in playwriting. And it was initially really just these two lead characters, mostly sitting on a couch, having a kind of philosophical discussion about morality and the nature of good and evil, right and wrong, with some jokes. And then I was really lucky to connect up with some of these wonderful producers and turned it very quickly into a screenplay, which is a process of kind of finding the key beats and making them visual, giving the world a little bit of scope. And that's been the process. I was incredibly lucky to work with all these wonderful actors to bring it to life.
Well, just off that, do you want to talk through the process of pulling together the cast?
Yeah, absolutely. Since it is such because it comes from a play, it's very dependent on performance. It's very rooted in these sort of key dialogue scenes. We knew that for the Amanda character, we needed an actor who could really find all the kind of shades of a deadpan, someone really just intelligent and strong with language, and I'd seen a lot of Olivia's performances and had always just been really blown away by kind of her her subtlety and intelligence. And for the Lily character, we knew we needed an actor with just sort of tremendous natural presence, someone who could sort of draw you in, but you could tell there was something dark lurking beneath it all. And it did a wonderful job of that. And for the Tim character, for Anton's character, we were just incredibly lucky to work with him. He took a role that, in sort of in lesser hands could be kind of an unlikable one, really just sort of delved into the sort of human heart of that character, and was just a real kind of student of film noir and film in general. Had a lot of ideas about that character, and that was a wonderful collaboration. And then Paul, Francie, Kylie, because we're all huge fans of all of their work, and very happy to work with them as well.
Yes, I think we're ready for anyone has any questions? Yes. Oh, yes.
Corey, it's interesting to hear that this started as a play because it's so cinematic. I think it has such a distinct, look, and the camera moves so naturally. I wonder if you can talk a little bit about your cinematic influences and kind of what you were hoping to evoke in the way you shot.
Sure, well, thank you, I appreciate that. Lyle, our DP, is up here. We talked a lot in pre-production about just the importance of making sure that the film did have a visual identity. And we talked a lot about sort of classic film noir shooting conventions. We were interested in having certain scenes sort of play out in the way that they might on stage, using unbroken takes and really sort of letting our actors perform. We were also just incredibly lucky to find the beautiful home that we shot the film in, or at least 60% of the film in. And then Jeremy and his team did an amazing job of building that out.
On top of that, I'd like to, you want to talk a little bit about the sound design, because it's such an important part.
Yeah, I mean, Gene Park, our sound mixer, did an amazing job sort of building the sonic world of the movie and using that to kind of keep the audience on in a state of unease. We talked a lot about that. And then Stu Jacobs, our music supervisor, and Eric Friedlander, our composer, did, I think, a lovely job of building a score that was kind of sparsely used, but one that had a distinctive sort of feel and sort of a limited number of instruments, and that would really be something powerful and noticeable when it arrived on the scene.
Any more questions? Yes, in the very back.
I helped with both of the main characters kind of had sociopathic tendencies in very different ways. I was just wondering if you could speak a little bit about how you kind of got into that character, into that mindset.
Is that what you guys?
Well, it all started with Corey's screenplay, and I felt like the role of Amanda was just so clear on the page. And then I started to delve into some mental illness research, but then I didn't want to limit myself to just one. And like you saw, like she's been diagnosed with about 20. So then I kind of just did some backstory with Corey, and I just felt like that Amanda's emotional ability and emotional range is so severely repressed, and I think that is by choice. And then just selfishly as an actor, that gave me more room to sway. And you know, when Lily drugs Amanda, then is the chance where you really see her vulnerability for the first time, because she's completely inhibited.
Yeah. The script was so beautifully written, it was so easy to kind of get into the mindset of the character in that way, but also, I mean, I think Lily's world is so shiny and it's so not real, and so she's really repressed in a completely different way, but she's just holding, it's almost like if you grab like a ball and you pull it underneath the water and you don't let it go and all of a sudden it explodes up. That's what I was kind of trying to go for. She's just really, really repressed and holding everything back, but under this facade of like, I'm fine, it's all okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Was there a lot of rehearsal time? I mean, you talked about the long takes and everything. I assume there's a lot of orchestration to that. Did you guys have to rehearse through these scenes a lot?
It was nice. We had like a few days, Corey, Anya and I, where we just sat in a room and read through the script a couple of times, and that was all we needed really. It felt really organic from there on out.
Yeah, I think a lot of the rehearsal was just sort of figuring out, at least for the three of us, you know, these characters' history together, how long they've known each other, important moments in their relationships, and just giving them some, you know, specificity to draw on in building these performances.
Yeah, front row.
This is kind of to everyone. Have you seen the film before? Is this your first time? And kind of what are your thoughts of the end product?
I guess if it is your first time.
You guys want to answer that one?
Yeah, go ahead, Sparks. I have not seen it. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's exciting. It's you know, I kind of go down a little bit of a black hole, and I watch myself. So sometimes there's a little bit of dealing with that. But I felt like that what I really loved about it was that it was so clear that Corey had an opinion about like the story, the way he wanted to tell the story, how he wanted to tell it, and he was never indecisive. He he made a decision. I thought everybody was really good. I like it. It's good. Yeah.
There you go. I thought it was amazing for Corey to be a first-time filmmaker and have such a stunningly visual, amazing. As a playwright, I expected the characters as wonderful as they were, but I mean, wow, that was really impressive to see. It's very cool.
Oh, hi.
No, this is my first time seeing it, and I thought it was incredible. I loved it. I went for the whole ride. I can say that when I arrived on set, they'd already been shooting a couple of weeks, and so the tone had been established. And I remember doing that moment at the door the first time, and Corey saying, "Well, that was great, but in order to get the black comedy tone," and I was like, "The what?" What? So it was amazing to see that the tone was something that was his vision, and it was clear, and he managed to get us all into that same world, which is stunning.
Are we just going right down the line? Well, all the producers had seen it, and the girls had seen it. And I think in general, I mean, on behalf of everybody, this movie was just such a special experience. So when we saw it on screen, I think it's sort of the fulfillment of like every wish you have when you work on a movie with people you really love. And so I couldn't be happier. I think that's sort of how we all feel. We're so proud of Corey. We're so proud of our cast. And we're just excited sort of for the rest of the ride. Anyone else want to add anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, right here.
You talked a little bit about the score. The percussion was so specific. When you were writing it, did you have the idea that that's the kind of score you wanted, or were you just kind of soliciting ideas amongst your collaborators? Or?
No, I had some ideas about score. I think I knew that I wanted to be sort of a small number of instruments. I wanted sort of a chamber ensemble feel and to hear some recurring sounds. But we tried a number of different sort of rough ideas. Lou, our amazing editor, brought in a lot of great ideas for different sort of musical worlds to experiment with, just to sort of get a foundation. And then our composer Eric just fleshed that out beautifully. He's a very talented sort of classical and jazz cellist himself. But he has a number of brilliant collaborators, including that the percussion that you heard was Satoshi Takeshi, who's one of Eric's frequent collaborators, and just a really a powerful drummer with a distinctive style.
One more? Yeah. The question is about inspirations.
Sure, other photographers, other films. Lyle and I talked a lot about, like I said, we sort of talked about a number of kind of classic period film noir that we love. We are also very interested in a photographer called Gregory Crutzen. I don't know if you've ever seen his work, but he photographs these very very dark and shadowy, but also very color saturated and very lush, sort of mostly suburban worlds that have this real sense of mystery and emptiness to them. We talked about that, and we share a number of sort of cinematographic influences, but those were our sort of key touchstones.
Let's give a final round of applause to the team behind us.